Hey everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play Legacy of the Ancients. In the last episode, we started playing the game. We've begun to explore a little bit of the planet of Tarmalon and its major continent therein. We've visited 3 towns so far after we left the Galactic Museum, using some of the jade coins we found on a corpse to interact with these strange exhibits therein. We also were given a task. The recordings of the thoughts of the corpse that we had searched. A gold armband that it wore was able to transpose those thoughts into us, letting us know that the compendium also contained on the body was the wizard's compendium, and apparently is strong enough to destroy the world. Our task as a measly little peasant is to find a way to neutralize this scroll, destroy it or render it inoperable, or find a way to protect it so that it can't be utilized for such. At the moment, we're just going around getting money, trying to get some, I would say decent equipment, but this is the weakest of the stuff we could probably get. But it's enough that we can probably survive for the immediate future out here in the world. And we're trying to get a topaz coin from one of the merchants so that we can access the pirates' treasure exhibit that we had seen in the Galactic Museum as our first task. And to that end, let's continue playing where we left off. And actually, something else that we had done. We had, if I can click on the right screen, we'd also improved our endurance score at the end of the last episode. So we will take less damage from creatures when fighting them now. We need to get that dex up to roughly a similar spot as well. It'll be tougher than endurance will be, but it will improve our accuracy and make us harder to hit. So with that in mind, let's get started, shall we? I believe we picked up some mail to deliver to Mazleton. Oh, sorry, Thompson Crossing. Okay, we are at Mazleton. So, let's get out of an adventure. Oh, I was supposed to look at adjusting the audio settings to make this swamp sound a little more slime weird. I am never going to be not amazed that I remember the names of these things some 9 years from having played this originally. I'm gonna carve up this slime. 28 bucks, that's not so bad. As you may have noted, not every town has a healer present within it either. So, Thompson Crossing does not. We have to be, this is a, I forget, Stinging Rakish. Can we avoid this one? Oh, we can't. We couldn't. Can we now? There's a chance when you try to flee a creature that you will not be able to do so. In which case it gets another attack against you. Let's try to avoid it. Let's see what this one is. It's Slash Nettle! Yes! So this is one of the creatures that we want to use a specific weapon against. You hit more often, yep, and you do incredible damage against it. 17 bucks. I guess we should keep the club equipped while we're in forests. Did we get a jade coin? I think we did at some point at the end of the last episode too. I could just check my inventory to verify that. Let's check really quick. I think I did. It hasn't even been a day since well, it has been a day. All right, 1 jade coin. Okay. All right. Let's drop the mail off. Play 2 games of flip-flop. Check the weapon and armor stores. And then we should be good to go. 95 bucks. Let's see. So let's buy 25 days of food. We want to keep our food's total increasing. Don't want to end up running out of it. I actually don't know what happens if you run out of food in this game. I don't think it ever occurred to me when I had been playing it decades ago as a youngin'. So I couldn't tell you. We don't need a knife. Shoddy ring mail. We are wearing that already. So we don't need another one. And ours was cheaper than the price at the armor shop, apparently. Alright, some quick flip-flops, see if we can make a little bit of money. And then we're off. I think that's the blackjack dealer. We don't play blackjack again. Yes! Flip-flop is easy. Than me playing blackjack correctly. Alright, so we don't need instructions. We don't need practice. We'll bet 15 bucks twice this time. Choose red. And 4. Hey! Alright, that's immediately a profit, even if we lose the next one. So we'll bet on 15 gold on white this time. 5. Oh, messed it up. They flipped the bumper. Okay, well, we're done. No. Leave some of our money. Some of that money, 30 bucks profit. At one point, if we have a significant amount of money, we'll play super high stakes flip-flop for like 400 bucks or something like that to bet until we break the bank, which would happen in like about 1 or 2 wins, depending upon where the ball falls. But those bumpers will flip-flop very rapidly. Okay, so I almost hit M to bring up the world map. That doesn't exist in a game like this, Tim. Playing too much Diablo 2 over the past month or two. All right. I think we want to go to Langsberg. I think is the name of the town. And I believe it's to the east of us. Oh, well, we can't get there directly by going east. We have to go around. I guess we'll fight. Oh, good hit there with that club. 11 damage. It looks like a spider to me, this thing, doesn't it? As if it was... Oh, do I want to use the flesh for food? No. It's a spider. Like, it probably doesn't sound very appetizing nor healthy for us. Okay. Swamps are up ahead. Let's get back on our knife. Travel through this. You know, it occurs to me how much I like swamps in games that I play. I wonder if... It doesn't really translate well into this game's swamps, since we don't get to see the swamp beyond the terrain texture up here. Eaten Warrior. Wow! Good for me. Sometimes these guys are friendly. The creatures that can speak to you, like an Eaten Warrior, a Strider, or a Bandit, can show up anywhere, if I recall correctly. It'd be kind of funny if the game prompted if you wanted to use the Eaten Warrior's flesh as food, because then you could literally be eaten an Eaten Warrior. That is Merchant's Cross? No. Merchant's something down there. We don't have a reason to go there yet. Well, we have a reason to go to every single town. But what I meant by that is that there is no training located there, and I would like to go to a town that has training for our dexterity. So that's what we're going to go to next. I believe Oh, nice! Thrust Creeper. I don't trust eating that thing's flesh. There it is. That's Langsberg. I forget what this thing is. Ventral Flailer. Looks like a happy... Looks like a tree with a happy face on it. Can we avoid it? No. Can we avoid it again? Yes, we can. Hello, Langsberg. I think that's the name of the town. Let's just go east and see what this thing was. Another Rakish. I think Rakish will fight this one twice. Okay, we're leaving. Taking too many hits. Langsberg. I do remember the name of the place. Langsberg is a really small town, in so much that there aren't very many shops, if I recall correctly. Okay, the school is to the left of us. This should have the... Oh, or is it here? I don't... It's here. Yes, okay. I'm sorry, I try to guess... I try to recollect where the places are so I can be very impressive to you guys watching about how it's been so many years since the last play, but I still remember where everything is. We need healing. And now, let's get some training. Weapons training school. So, we can just skip the instructions for this one. We've already seen training for armor. This will be very similar, but we'll be armed with a crossbow, not a shield, or armor, technically, I suppose, according to the game. And we have to shoot down the fireballs. You're only allowed one crossbow bolt on the screen at any one time. It can be beneficial to take random shots later on to reduce the number of fireballs coming at you in the later levels and waves. But if nothing pops out of there, based on the speed you saw those other fireballs traveling in the armor training section, you will get pummeled. And potentially, just like what happened to us, you're dead immediately at a certain point. If we can make it to... What did we make it to? Rank 6? Level 6, Wave 1 is where we finished, I think, in armor training? Was it level 7, Wave 1? If we can make it to the same level here, that would be really wonderful. And just like with the armor training, I don't intend to do this again. Now, there is a reason why you would want to. There's a creature in the dungeons that can drain your statistics. It chooses between endurance, I believe, or dexterity, and it has a special attack that lowers it by, I think it's like 2 through 4 points. Might be a little more, but I'm pretty sure there's a small range it can affect it by. In which case, well, you're going back to the training school to re-raise it again. Do you think what we see, the red around this arena, I always used to think those were people, but now I think they're just flowers or something. And we have staircases that lead down here too. It's like this is a coliseum that we're fighting in. Oh, that's a shame. Fired a little too early down there. Alright, level 1's done. We have to, I believe, at least beat level 2 if we want to actually gain dexterity. You can lose dex. You can lose endurance as well if you don't at least beat the easy levels. And right there was a random shot, and we managed to hit it. 25% chance you hit it. Hey! They're gonna be showing off there. What's strange is I remember the old joystick for the Commodore 64. It was like an old ancient arcade game, in a way. A black joystick with a single button. These days, your gamepads have like 1,000,000 buttons on them. Your mice have 1,000,000 buttons. Well, 1,000,000's way too much, but they've got like 5 or so buttons, even on a mouse, at least these days. I want to say that every single button on my gamepad acts as the same singular button that it would have been on the Commodore for the joystick there. I wonder if there was actually other joysticks that were created, though I doubt they had more than a single button on them. There wasn't, I don't think it was like an officially made joystick. I can't remember. Or maybe I'm getting this confused. No, I'm pretty sure there was a joystick with the Commodore. Also thinking of the Atari, because the Atari had joysticks too. Maybe I'm thinking of the Atari joystick we used to use when I was growing up. The Atari had a paddle as well, which was something as... It was like a dial knob, and the button was on the side of it, if I recall correctly. Some games wanted you to use the paddle, others the joystick for the Atari. There was a game called Kaboom, where this guy dressed in like a thief, like the black and white striped pajama-looking outfit. Oh, God, Tim. There you go. Almost took a hit right there. Would drop bombs, and you had to catch all of them in these buckets of water. And you had to use a paddle for that game. I don't think the button did anything in it, if I recall correctly. And when you eventually lost, the robber would laugh at you. I remember being so enraged at that when I was young. Like, no matter what, for the old Atari games, it was basically, you got the idea of what you were playing within, like, a few minutes. Maybe, like, 4 minutes tops for most of the gameplay there. There were some exceptions, like Adventure. Although, technically, you understood the gameplay. But most Atari games were something like this, and only this, that you would play. Oh God. Oh, help! It didn't trigger. Literally, I hit the button and nothing happened. Oh no. That's a hit. That's an early hit. We better make it to at least level 5. Oh wow. And it's faster now. Woo! That could have been another hit had we not accidentally managed to get that stray shot hitting something. Sorry, viewer, this is this has become a great deal more complicated and requires more concentration. You can't just hold down the button and just fire endlessly. Going by really fast now, though. Take a random shot. Try it again. Man, even pointing in the wrong direction for half a second is dangerous now. What were some other games that we played? Aztec Challenge a few years ago. There was a game that was also rather tough. Oh, was that no, that was a Commodore game. That was not an Atari game. Come on. We got to be able to beat level 5. I'll be content at that point. We'll miss a little more often than I'd probably like. But we'll go from missing way too often, like a 50% hit rate, it seems. When you see me glance over at a spot, it's because I'm thinking of shooting a random bolt there. And then I see a bolt emerge from a different hole and immediately rotate to fire there instead. it's interesting to me how different these. I mean, they're the same, but with the armor, if you block incorrectly, and then you rotate to try to block where you something that's already hit you, you're taking another hit. Here, oh no, that's it. We're not getting past this. We're not getting past this, are we? We're up to 4 hits. Okay, level 6 wave 1 is done. We're not going to see level 7. We're not going to get through this wave, I think. Not unless I get... Well, not unless I'm really skillful, but that's not going to be the case, I think. Too fast. Too fast. Couldn't shoot fast enough to keep up with them. 19 points. 34. No, we're not training again. So, we must have reached level 7 wave 1 for endurance, because we had 36 points there. Okay. Still. Oh, I will speak. No, we don't want to do that again. Okay, so, not terrible. Not terrible. We'll take it, obviously. Definitely we'll save the game when we're done with this. We don't have to do that again. Let's deliver the package. Oh, we don't have a package here. So let's buy some food. This will go to either Merchant Square, Thompson's Crossing, maybe Thompson's Crossing, or Holy Cross. Holy Point, not Holy Cross. Okay. Got the name of that town correct. Holy Point is to the east of Langsberg. Hello, weapons store. What have you got? Nothing we want there. The armor store. Fair ring mail. 147. No. Yeah, it looks like the prices are the same for the weapons and armor stores no matter where you go. So I was lying earlier when I said that they differed here. I know they differed in Black Silver. I assume they differed here in this game too. A bank. Let's deposit 50 bucks. Up to 214. And I think that's it. The rest of Langsberg is just fields. So let's go ahead and leave. Oh, I should have just hit L for leave. I always forget that's a thing you can do. I say always forget, like this is something I do on the regular. So we want to save the game really quick. Yes. This won't take too long, but I do have to do this with the mouse. So I promised I'd talk about disk images for a bit. I think in the last episode. So you have to put in the different disks here. The Commodore did not have a hard disk attached to it that you could write to whenever you would like. Instead, you had to plug in these different little, these different floppy disks. That's what they were called. Can I even describe what they look like these days? It was basically a... Was it plastic? No. What were they in? There was the disc medium inside. It was a circular, it was circular what it was written to. Let's go that way. Oh, the Eaton Warrior. Hello. Standing before us. Let's speak with him. 54 days of food for 6... No, we don't. That's not a good deal. Thrust Creeper. We are armed with our dagger. No. So, it was a circular medium that you wrote to, contained in a squarish... I'll call it the sleeve. It's not quite correct, but I don't know what else to... I don't know how else to describe it. And it was 5 1/2... 5 1/2? 5 1/4? 1 second. I need to look this up. Old floppy disk sizes. Was it 5 1/4, 5 1/2? 5 1/4. Okay, was 5 1/4. So 5.5 inches in size was the square on all sides. Obviously, it was a square, not a rectangle. And you would plug them in, you would feed them into, it's probably a better way to describe it, a disk drive. It's similar to a DVD drive or a CD player, for example. Only, well, actually, some DVD or disk drives, you would slide them directly into the slot, and it would accept it. You would put it into the drive, and then you would lock the drive's front door. Front door? Was it a door? Receptacle? Bone something. Bone Dweller. It looks friendly, but these are never friendly. We're just going to immediately start carving it up. No. The only reason why you would probably want to use something's flesh for food is if you knew it was 100% safe, in which case I think the Windstalkers always are. And also because it's the early game, in which case you're really struggling for money. Hugin. Friendly today? You are not. So, this emulator emulates a Commodore 64 with the various peripherals all attached to it. A disk drive, a tape reader, and a cassette? We only had a disk drive when I was growing up. I never possessed any games or software or anything of the sort that would be read in on a tape or cartridge. I don't think it had cartridges, but I think there were 3 different types of external medium for the Commodore 64. I know one was a tape. I don't remember what the other ones were. I'm sorry, one was a disk drive, but I don't remember what the other... I think it was a printer? Could a Commodore print? I don't remember. I do remember the old HP Howitz Packet? Is that what it was called? Printer we used to have. My goodness, loud? With the paper that had the serrated edges with the holes in it to be fed into it an age ago. My goodness, how far we've come since we were using those types of printers. I still. They are used where I work still, as some of the very old pieces of software that we support require them in order to be used. All right, hello, healer. So we want wound cure. We have money. We can probably get our fortune read. I see you playing flip-flop and winning a fortune. That will be eventually true, but that's probably more like a attempt to get us to play flip-flop at one of these places. Magic shop. The spells here are more expensive than the spells over in Mazleton, so the magic prices look like they're different. The weapon and armor shops, I believe, are all the way over here to our right. So let's see. Pass by this fountain. These are flower gardens we're walking past. Some hedges. Very fancy looking place, this Holy Point. Armageddon armor. What are you selling? Same prices. Okay. That's interesting. You're not... I mean, it's like one company owns all the weapon and armor stores in the entire world. It's like when you go and get gas and everything is exactly the same, or potentially 1 penny cheaper someplace. What weapon, by the way, am I using? Okay, we are using a scrub knife. I think this shop here sells climbing gear and boats. Nope, this is the food. Okay. Hello. $95 for delivering the letter. We'll buy... we should not buy any food. We should leave and come right back and get the quest to bring the package someplace else. It'll be Langsburg or Merchant Square, because they are the closest towns to Holy Point. Well, let's go up here. Oh, this is the giant flip-flop gambling hall. Yeah, look at all these. All these are flip-flops. Sure, we'll play some flip-flop while we're here, though. Always play flip-flop. We're always going to play at least 2 games whenever we show up at a place. So we don't need instructions. We don't need practice. Once again, we'll bet 15 bucks twice. Let's choose white. 2. Very good. My eyes travel down the bumper colors as quick as they can. Let's do it again. 1. No! Darn you! No, we're done. Only twice. Yes. Still made a little bit of money. We got the color bonus. We don't want to anger the towns anyway by gambling over and over again. We don't have anything we want to sell to that gentleman. We don't have anything... Well, we don't want a loan. This is a large jail, isn't it? It is. Oh, interesting. And this is the vault for the bank right next to it. Oh, I wonder if that guy tried to rob the bank and was put in that jail right next to the money he wanted. That's kind of messed up. Back to Langsburg we go. And this must be the place that sells the boats. It is, a raft. No, we don't need a raft, and we don't need climbing gear. Oh, climbing gear is cheaper here than it was for us in Thornberry. That's interesting. So even though... So, in Black Silver, the way it worked was that my memory of it is that every town, the prices were either... Everything in that town was more expensive than another town, which I'm doing a bad job describing this. The prices were higher or lower depending upon the town you went to, and every single shop in there would follow that rule. So if Iron Forge, we'll try a Squirpod's flesh once. Let's see if it hurts us. What are you? Carrion something? Carrion Mangler. Looks like a gnoll to me. Looks like some sort of creature like the dog face wielding a mace, is what I see. The gigantic right arm. No. I don't want to eat some bipedal creature's flesh. That's a bit too weird. Pit Striker. We can probably now fight this without taking too many hits. Note that we are missing far less often than normal, and the creatures are missing a great deal more often than they had been. All thanks to that increased dexterity. Right, so anyway, so you have files that are called disk images here. I have 3 files to play this game. The Legacy of the Ancients disc 1, side 1, disc 1, side 2. You were ambushed by bandits! You fall unconscious! You awake. The compendium is gone. This is I think the first, you hear a voice. Do not be discouraged. It was inevitable. Keep to your quest. So even though we no longer possess the compendium, we are still going to attempt to figure out what it would have taken to contain the power therein, destroy it, or get it protected. I think this is the first time I've ever played this game and had the ambush occur before I reached character level 2. They didn't take any of the money that we have on us, thankfully, nor our food. And they left us alive. Interesting. They wanted only one thing. I guess just being a normal peasant, they kind of felt bad for me. For us. Must have been the case. Hello, sir. We need some healing badly now. Were we up here before? I don't remember. Refurbished armor. I think we were. Fair ring meal. We probably should purchase some fair ring meal soon. We're getting quite a bit of cash. No good weapons. 125 for the letter. So let's leave again. We'll walk right back in. Get the quest to deliver mail someplace else. And then figure out what we're doing. Maybe we do buy some fair ring mail. Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll sell our shoddy. So we have quite a bit more to explore in the museum as well. We're not too far away from it. So we could head on down there and see what else is in it. While I'm here, I want to see if I can purchase a healing herb. You aren't prepared for healing herbs. Nothing purchased. Okay. Okay. So we're not even allowed to get them. There's an exhibit in the museum that requires a topaz coin. And after you interact with it, you'll be able to actually purchase healing herbs. Healing herbs heal you, obviously, or maybe not so obviously, half your maximum hit points. So if you have 200 hit points, it'll heal you 100. If you have 500, it's 250. Let's say 24 more days of food. Yes. Hold back to Holy Point. Okay. Going back and forth between those places. I know the moment I buy the ring mail, someone's going to be offering good ring mail instead. Okay, fair ring mail it is. Let's wear it. Oh, maybe, okay. Although we're... Yes, I want a museum coin. Topaz coin! That's what we were looking for. Okay, so... Perfect. Let's go to Holy Point, drop off the mail, get some more food, and we'll head back down to the museum. Or head to the museum. We haven't yet been there. It's kind of risky doing what we're going to do so early. Can we get a level before we interact with the Pirates Cove picture? I don't think we can. Oh, God! You should have been whacking us with that tree trunk it's wielding as a weapon. Thankfully, for not too much damage. Just one. We'll explore more of the towns out here soon. The Pirates Cove exhibit is going to teleport us, similar to the Thornberry one. Unlike Thornberry, I don't believe we get Wisp. This is a Wisp. Shadow Wisp. Hello, Shadow Wisp. A sparkling new knife for 34 gold. I don't think it is one. A sparkling new one, but we'll buy it. What do we get? A fair knife. That is not sparkling and new. 34 bucks. We'll see if we can sell it for more than that. Boom, 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 boom. Now, since we're going to go to a dungeon, or so is my intention... Well, okay. We have several choices here. There are 3 exhibits that our Topaz coin can be used in. We could not go to Pirates Cove and use it in one of the other 2 exhibits if I so desired. Arguably, that's the smarter thing to do, but I feel like I would like to move the main quest along faster. Or quickly. Not faster, quickly. So we will want to go to Pirates Cove to do so, and I believe if we go into the dungeon and take a peek around there, that's out near Pirates Cove, we should level up a little bit. Or level up once. This is flip-flop? No, this is a magic store. Flip-flop's to the north. Okay, so we won't get another piece of mail here because we don't want to be well, there's no harm in getting it, but I would like to see other towns, and I feel overly compelled to drop off the mail if I have some. Let's buy some 36 days of food. To 150. There's nothing over there that we want. We will visit the weapon and armor. Oh, let's show you how the buyback shop works. We'll visit the weapon stores really quick. Weapon and armor store. See if there's anything better. Okay. And then we'll head on down to the museum. I will happily purchase your used arms and armor. Okay. So. Okay. We'll come back. The first thing we should do is see how much money we will get from the standard armor store if we were to sell our armor directly to them. So if I was to sell our shoddy ring mail, 57 bucks is what he'll be willing to pay to purchase it from us. And for our dagger that we bought, $19 for that. A fair-leaded club, better than our shoddy, not as good as a superb knife. How many weapons do I have? I'm willing to buy another. I'm willing to buy another knife. So let's buy. Well, maybe we... Oh, that was an accident. Okay, we bought a fair-leaded club in the end. So now we have a shoddy one that we can sell. Okay. Let's sell the club here. Okay. I especially didn't want to buy a club because I think we can get a superb club elsewhere. So that was kind of a waste, but I guess it can't hurt to have another extra weapon. Okay, so here's how the buyback shops work. We want to sell we want to sell a weapon. We want to sell our fair knife. Now we know we can get 19 bucks for this at the weapons store. He'll give us 10 for it. So we're going to say no, and we can make a counter offer. Now, if you offer too much, sorry, if you ask for too much, he's like, no, and this just ends. Let's see if we can get 23 for it. Way too high. So he's upping what he'll offer to give us to 16. No. So now we can see what we asked for, what he's offered. We need to go lower now. Let's say 20. Hey, we made a buck. That's surprising. I didn't think we could actually make more money. Okay. How about our armor? Our shoddy ring mail. 34 is 57, if I recall correctly. So we'll ask for 68. Twice what he's willing to give us at the start. Way too high. 41. Oh no, that's still too low. Let's go to 58. 49. No, so at this point we'll offer him 53. This is it. He's not willing to go higher than this. So we can still say no, in which case this ends, and we can just go sell it to the armor store. But I'll accept it, so we don't have to walk back there. Okay. And now, I should do flip-flop, but I'm not going to. Let's just leave. Okay. time to go back to the museum. Oh God! Mammoth Screecher. This is one of the toughest creatures in the above world that we could hope to encounter. Lots of hit points. Like 200 something hit points. Or more. And they do decent damage, so we do not want to fight them if we can avoid it. Blastosphere. Blistosphere. We're apparently very agile at dodging its Blisto attacks. No, I don't trust eating Blistopods fleshed as food. Bone something again, right? Bone Dweller. Looks like he's wielding a wrench, but I think that's a bone he's holding up in his hand. Looks like he's like hopping over a wall to me, too. So when it comes to creatures you encounter as well, we were in the plains. If we walked to the west one space, we might be in the mountains. In which case, the creature we encountered would be from the mountains, not a plains creature. Same thing here. If we walk to the west, it could be a mountain creature or a desert creature, both of which are much tougher than what we would normally fight in the plains. Yes, we'll always take Windstalker's flesh as food. Alright, viewer, just in case there's a problem, let's save the game. So now I am selecting the save disk image and putting it in our drive. This emulator has a little light that's on it also. That's as if it was the disk drive reading the disk. Remember the sounds? Oh, well, you guys probably don't remember the sounds, but these used to make sounds as well when it was reading the drives in HDO. My goodness, good times. All right. Let's step inside the museum. Now, this game had two types of copy protection. This is one of them. The game came with what was called a code wheel. This had a planet's name, a type of stone, and rings. By rings, I mean as if it was like a planet orbiting a sun, those types of rings. And you had to match up the world with the stone. Oh, it says down there, world and stone. I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking upwards. Okay, so we need to match Glenmore with the topaz stone. So let me bring up. Okay, there we go. So where is... Oh, this is kind of neat. So I'm using the internet at oldgames.sk, code wheel, Legacy of the Ancients. And now looking at this, I need to find the planet name on the outside of this. It is not in alphabetical order. There's Glenmore. Okay. So now, oops, I need to move the topaz, if I can find you. There you are. Over Glenmore. And now, on the intersection of this code wheel are numbers. With these numbers under it, it indicates what ring that number is for. So if we want to find ring 6, then the correct answer here is 92063. Whenever you enter the museum in this fashion, you will need to use the code wheel to enter it. The second type of copy protection was a very clever type of copy protection. The game discs were read-only. I might have mentioned this before, but I don't think I did. They were read-only, which meant that normally you couldn't write to the discs. But if you copied the game from, say, the medium that you purchased it on, the official discs, and made a copy on other discs, whenever you would try to, the game by default, and to my knowledge you can't disable it, always attempts to write to the disk at some point when you switch disks. And if it can write to the disk, it does so, overriding whatever's on it with just garbage, because it knows the developers knew that the disc would be read-only. And as such, this was a copy, an illegal copy, and you weren't allowed to have it. And so they would destroy whatever data was on that disc, which would generally only be this game. Whew. Good times. I did not even realize that was the case for this game until I was using an emulator many years ago, because my disk images would no longer work, because they work just exactly the same as a normal disk would. So you have to flag your disk images as read-only for this game if you want to be able to use the same image without making a million copies of it whenever you swap disks around. All right, let's walk around the museum for a bit. So we could, once again, spend this topaz coin in a different place besides that cove location. But I think we will spend it on the cove. But here's another exhibit we haven't seen before. Information. Well, we could use some information. Let's examine it. Hey, that guy looks like he has his arm resting on the counter here. Welcome to our museum. I am the museum caretaker. Although my influence outside this museum is limited, I'll provide you with help and information whenever I can. Right now, you should explore the world around you. Feel free to use the museum exhibits, or, if you'd rather, use the doors to go directly outside. The caretaker here, we can speak with him, and he'll give us some hints and or other information. I've heard that your magic scroll was stolen. My sources say that it was sold a few days later on the black market. You must do more before I can help you again. You may use the museum exhibits or explore the lands outside. So, when your character is ready to level up, this is the gentleman that will do so. He'll give you a new title, you'll hear the good music play, the little tune, and then, well, that's it. Then you have to go and get yourself healed, at which point your new maximum hit points will be known to you. You can leave the museum by holding your gold armband and then using it. That will let you leave the museum directly, rather than using an exhibit to be teleported someplace else. Stones of Wisdom. Amethyst coin. We'll talk for quite a bit about this particular game when we actually get to play it. This allows you to improve your intelligence score in the game, but it requires quite a bit of money and a significant amount of time to actually play this game. Ancient artifact. Exhibit closed. Looks like there's nothing on that pedestal or plinth. This is the Thornberry exhibit. We have a jade coin. We could use it on the weapon exhibit here. I don't know what we'll get if we do examine this. It'll be, once again, it's going to be either a knife, a club, or a bladed staff. I would love the staff, but I don't know if we'll get it from it this early. That said, I think we won't metagame this too much, beyond what I already have done, and let's use our jade coin here. As Tarmalon culture advanced, weapons developed a ceremonial importance. In this exhibit, you see the famed Staff of Sacrifice. It was used to coronate kings. Although intended for ceremony, the staff is actually bladed for combat. As a museum patron, you may use this weapon for as long as you like. It is now in your possession. Wow! Wow! Just giving away something that had some historical value. Some history to it. Just, here, take it. It's yours now. You know what? We don't want it back anymore. It's cluttering up the museum's storage facilities. It's a great bladed staff and will be probably one of the better weapons we'll have for at least the next episode of playing this game as well. That said, we got to be careful with when we use it. We'll use it right now, but when we get into the dungeon, we will not want to have it equipped for reasons that we'll talk about when we reach it, that dungeon. Pirate treasure. Yeah, let's use our topaz coin. Tarmalon's deep ocean waters are so turbulent that few trading ships ever venture far from shore. Yet, long ago, the oceans were calm and ocean travel flourished. As time went by, pirates came to rule the seas. They preyed on helpless vessels, taking gold, weapons, armor, and supplies. Their treasures were stored in deep caves and remote islands. This booty was guarded by paid soldiers and by animals bred for their ferocity. When the oceans became rougher, many of the caves could no longer be reached. In this exhibit, you see the entrance to one such cave. The wealth stored within is enormous. Would you like to go to the pirate's lair? Yes. The pirate's lair is located in a chain of islands called the Three Sisters. You will be transported to the largest island. From there, you're on your own. The pirate's lair has many levels. At the very bottom, it is said, lies a priceless sapphire. Okay, the McDonald's symbol that you see there, the thing to our characters, behind our character, to your right, or our right, is a portal that will bring us back to the museum by walking on top of it. We are on an island, and we need to get to a different island, which it just occurs to me that I need money to buy a boat. Hopefully the almost 400 bucks we have is enough to do exactly that. Let's go ahead and walk about, shall we? Hugan, can we talk with you? No. Good hits there with our staff. 14 damage or so. Oh, we definitely don't want to fight whatever this is. Oh, maybe we do. This is a Mastodon Leaper. Our bladed staff is what this thing is weak to. Nice. 45 bucks. The staff is also useful against the Neuron Cloud, which I believe I mentioned in the last episode, located in the desert. The town we want, I think, is on the other side of these mountains. Where are we currently? Foothills. Let's go south. I didn't want to fight another mountain creature. Although the Mastodon Leaper is weak to the staff, we could end up fighting something far worse. Rock Beetle. Let's avoid it. We don't want to fight mountain creatures if we can indeed avoid them. A Hugan. Hello. Oh, you're a friendly one. A well-crafted knife. No. I don't believe you. Another rock beetle. Let's move over here. A Mastodon. Good. This one will fight. 39 bucks. Right. Oh, that's the sound of the ocean. Up against, rather the beach, as it were. The town isn't here. I thought it was. So it's over to our east then, a little more, I think. We don't want to stay in the mountains if we can avoid it. There it is. What's the name of this town? I can't remember. I don't remember. Hollow Point? Might be the name? We had Holy Point. Pixie. Yeah! It looks like an alien. Or something wearing a space outfit. Hello. 50 days of food for $45. That's actually a little bit of a savings. Yeah, we'll take that. Eagle Hollow Point. You got half of the name correct. Although it was the first part of the name of the town, not the last part of the name of the town. Forgive me, viewer. It's been many years. Been a while since I've been here. This town has just about everything in it, though, if I recall correctly. Let's see what's waiting inside building number 1. The most important thing we need to find, though, here is a raft shop. If we don't have a raft, we ain't getting out on the ocean. If we don't do that, we can't make it to the Pirate's Lair. That said, we should still see what else is here. My recollection of Eagle's Hollow is that they tend to sell the best available equipment at any one time. So we should see... Okay, superb leather hide, no ring mail for sale here. The weapons store, which I don't think this is... should be selling a superb leaded club, I think. A bank. How much do we have in it? 239? So it's just like using an old ATM, isn't it? This game existed before ATMs were a thing, viewer. You had to go to the bank and actually fill out the withdrawal slip way back when to get the money out of it. One of these is the raft shop. Is it you? Oh, that's so expensive, but we need the raft. $358. That's almost all our cash. Pirate's Treasure Weapons. What have you got? A superb knife only. Okay, well, that's it for us then. So we have the raft and nothing else. You know what just occurred to me? We examined that jade exhibit. We should have gone back to the caretaker, because we might have leveled up by examining all the jade exhibits in the museum. It is too late. Let's buy 2 days of food here. And mostly because I want to see if we can get a package delivery from this guy. I don't think we can. Yeah, no one... So this vendor, this food store, does not give you quests. And no store will have you deliver mail out here. Oh, a healer with a different type of bed? Looks like a counter to me. Oh, we need that healing. Note how expensive the healing herbs are here. 131. Healing herbs will go up in price as you level up as well. So you're best off supplying fully on them, buying as many of them as you can, are allowed to hold, which I think is 30? Might be 40. As quickly as you can, as early on into your adventure as possible. Magic is more expensive out here too. Everything out here is very expensive. Apparently, though, not the weapons and armor. And I think that's... Is that it? I thought there were gambling shops here too. But I guess I am incorrect about that. This is the healer again? The food store. Okay, then we're done. Why don't we visit the bank, though? Because if we die... we will want to make sure that the gold we have is stored. And we'll put 33. We'll go in. Just in case we meet a merchant on before we take the few steps onto the raft. Okay. Let's head on out to the dungeon. Now, our objective... Well, actually, we'll talk about our objective in the dungeon when we reach it. Because there's two. There's what we're going to do now, and there's the complete objective, which we won't be doing right away. Alright. We're on a raft now, everybody. Travel out on the ocean requires a low amount of food. Travel is easy, but the creatures out here are very nasty. We don't want to fight anything until we have a higher strength. A mantis something? Giant manta ray. Oh, we'll avoid that. Looks like a butterfly. The Pirate Slayer, as you can see, or maybe guess based on where we're traveling, is out to the west. I forget what this is. They're always hostile. Everything in the ocean is angry and wants you to die. No. At least it wasn't a sea swallow. Oh god, we need to go west. Let's go south? Okay, we avoided it. Sea sprays. Spray fish. No. Oh, it just occurs to me, viewer, we may take so much damage that we won't last very long inside the dungeon. We need to get away. Thankfully, our dexterity translates to what we have, to our ability to dodge and hit creatures and take damage on a boat. Oh no. I have no clue. Wave skimmer. Oh, come on. Losing 25 hit points on the way there is nasty. Lots of creatures out here on the ocean today. This is it. We'll go south and avoid it. We want this island. And if you didn't have climbing gear, you wouldn't be getting into the dungeon here either. My recollection of rafts is that you might not be able to get back on the raft from how you disembarked from it. We will assume this is safe. Okay, we're going to save the game here. I don't think you guys can probably see me swapping discs. Oh, this sucks. Oh. At least I have a way to kind of still make it exciting and maybe recover from what just happened, but it's very frustrating. When I entered the dungeon, viewer, apparently OBS decided to stop recording the game. And so we missed a really tense situation that occurred therein. This is very frustrating. Okay, so we've also been playing for 1 hour and 7 minutes. So here's what we're going to do, viewer. I wanted to record us going to the dungeon, exploring a little bit of it, grabbing the compass from one of the first boxes we would find in the first 2 levels of the dungeon, and then leave. Unfortunately, while I was successful in this, none of it got recorded. And so I saved the game when I left the dungeon. So I can't do it again unless I was to throw away the past 3 hours or so of recording. I don't want to do that. So I will summarize what happened when I was in the dungeon. We will go back into the dungeon again right now, despite the fact that we're almost dead, because I want to test something inside the dungeon anyway. I want to see if the dungeon has repopulated the items, the boxes, and treasure chests if I just go back in there again, having just left it. I think it will, but I'm not sure. So this is a good way to verify it. We'll check. And I can summarize what happened right now before we do this test. So, we went into the dungeon, and one of the things I was terrified of was encountering a creature called Knuckles that would break my weapons. And we did, and it broke a weapon. It broke our club. So now we only have 2 weapons, not 3. A bladed staff and our knife. Viewer, it was amazing. I was so nervous. We went down to about 23 hit points at one point inside this dungeon. And I can't believe I'm about to just walk back in there again. But I'm going to do it for the content for you guys. Oh, man. Or maybe we go back to town and then we come back here again. Let's do that. The only problem here is that we have to survive all these water creatures to get back to Eagle Hollow to heal. And then we'll come back out here again. Oh, please. No! So those are sea swallows. Oh, what the heck? And they are giant whirlpools, it looks like, that you're fighting. Probably not an actual whirlpool. It's probably some sort of tubular creature that attacks us. They have a good amount of hit points and do a good amount of damage occasionally when they attack. We got hit for only 4. I think the dolphins are some of the more trickier creatures to hit. And also do decent damage. The sea sprayers, whatever they're called. Sprayfish. Even the return home originally to home. Yes, that's well to Eagle Hollow was so close, viewer. I made it back to town with I think 30 hit points left. The creatures out on the ocean are very difficult. Okay, let's disembark. We'll heal, store some gold, buy another weapon, go back into the dungeon again, and we'll do this again. I can't believe it didn't record. Now I'm gonna have the good news is now I will check my OBS Studio recording every single time to make sure it doesn't just randomly stop recording the game. The hotkey for my record and unrecord, stop recording, unrecord, to record and stop recording is the insert key on my keyboard, and that was not accidentally pressed. The odds of the cursor being over the stop recording button on OBS and it somehow being depressed is also very low. There must have been another hotkey, or it must be a secondary hotkey for OBS that did this. Okay, back up to our max hit points. This sucks. Oh, I can't stand when stuff like this happens. So I guess we'll talk about this aspect of recording video games for a bit, viewer. Something I've always disliked is games that have checkpoint systems in them for saves, and or games that have a single save slot that you're right into every single time. Because if something transpires like what just did, I can't undo it. Now, it is easier in this game, in this instance, to fix the situation if I had backed up my save character disk, but I wasn't doing that. Now that I know this is a concern that I need to be worried about, I will go ahead and make sure that I back up the save disk every single time I record this game. This way, if there is an issue, I can just re-record an hour and a half worth of gameplay rather than up to 4 hours worth of gameplay or more by restarting the entire series over from the get-go again. We need another knife, because if we fight a Knuckles, we need to swap over to using knives. And we don't want to just have 2 weapons. We want a third, because if it breaks our knife, that means we would be using only our staff. And if we were to meet another Knuckles after defeating the one we were just been engaged in, we could lose that staff as well. Now we're going to buy a spell while we're here. A single seek spell. Because if we end up leaving the dungeon, barely surviving our trip back into it again, because I intend to do what I just did, this is nuts, Tim. I can't believe you're about to try this again. Or rather, do this again. You were successful at your first attempt. I want to make sure that we can just go right back to the outside of the museum rather than travel back to Eagle's Hollow and then the museum portal. Okay, so all the money's going to be put into the bank. Because if we die, I want to make sure we have some funds to rely on upon getting back to civilization. Doesn't matter. Please don't be friendly. I hate this. I'm killing you. Sorry, Hugin. You're a friendly Hugin. But you picked the worst time to be friendly, because I have no money. Which means that whatever you're selling, I can't purchase. And on the off chance that was a museum coin, I don't want to feel really awful that I have no money to buy it. So we're going to kill you and take your money. You don't find museum coins, armor... Actually, I think you can find weapons and armor from creatures you kill. But you can't find coins, to my recollection, in the game. Oh man, we're already almost at the same amount of hit points we were when we arrived at the dungeon initially. Go north. Yeah, we'll avoid the creature. I believe the game came with a map. There's an exhibit called A Tapestry, which shows you a map of the world of Tarmalon. But I also think the game had a map that came with it, showing you where everything was located. Another good reason to buy the game. It wasn't a cloth map, to my recollection, though. Okay, let's save the game again. I am very glad that at least I recorded an hour and a half in this session. That at least that got saved. But I don't know why it stopped all of a sudden. So we'll see if this is the case when you just walk into the dungeon, if it stops recording. It shouldn't. Let's see what happens here. As I stare at OBS menacingly. Making sure it doesn't stop recording. One of the worst parts about being a Let's Player and not a streamer, it's still recording. All right, so we're in the dungeon. All right, viewers, hello. One of the worst parts about being a Let's Player and not a streamer is that if something happens, I don't have like a chat to tell me, Tim, something bad's happening. I could look over and see you guys telling me live this occurring. I only have my own wits and my expertise at doing this that I can rely on to tell me when things are going bad. And I had no clue it stopped recording until I said goodbye, glance over to stop the recording and see that it's not recording. And I'm like, oh no, when did it stop recording? Was I ever recording today? Yes. Okay, well, viewer, welcome to a dungeon. I have to re-talk about everything I just talked about again when last time I was here, because that part is gone to the ether. As you can see, we are back into a three-dimensional space. Unlike the museum, there are things walking around in the dungeon. Every step you take, every turn you pass, every action that you do elapses one turn of time. Everything in the dungeon, to my knowledge, takes a step looking for you to go and kill you. The dungeon consists of monsters, traps, blue boxes, and brown treasure chests. We'll talk about these things as we encounter them during our adventure in here. Assuming, of course, that it repopulated the chests and boxes from my last excursion into this location. We have a compass, so we can see the directions that we are turning and facing in as we adventure in the dungeon. Without it, all we see is move and turn. This is a blue box, obviously. This item will, I believe, 99% of the time, have healing for us. It will heal us a random amount of hit points. Anywhere from, well, the amount depends upon what your maximum hit points are. There is no treasure chest here this time. That is a monster. That is also a Knuckles. Knuckles can break your weapon as a special attack inside a dungeon. We want to equip a superb knife. Now, the awkward part about this is our back is not technically up against a wall, or it is, but we have the passage we just came from, yawning out to our character's left. A monster could be rounding the corner and staring very hungrily at us from our left, and we won't know until it walks up and begins attacking us. You want to make sure nothing can reach you from any other side, aside from the side you're facing. Combat in the game works here in the dungeons works pretty much the same as it does on the outside world, but the monsters are much tougher inside dungeons. They do more damage generally than creatures in the above world will do, and can take more punishment. This is a nerve striker. I like this creature in particular because you can actually see under it, but you can only see under it the ground, and only if there's how to describe this. If there could be a monster behind the nerve striker right now, and we don't see that there is. Doesn't mean there isn't one there though. It hides the monster that might be behind it, but not the terrain. Okay. We're almost at half our hit points already, viewer. Getting beat up. It doesn't matter. I want to at least try to do the same thing I did last time, which is make it down to level 2, open a blue box down there, and then, effectively, we're done. Our objective here the first time was to get a compass from this dungeon, which would satisfy a requirement to be leveled up back at the museum. Okay, so the treasure chests, some treasure chests do respawn, or at least that one did. And the blue boxes look like they probably did too. That thing we just passed over was a poison needle trap. If the trap is visible to you, in other words, you know it's there, your character will never fail to pass over it successfully. There is a trap down this hallway, though, that we don't see. If we were to walk on it, we would take damage. You can examine the hallway. Your character will then detect any traps that are in it, as long as a monster isn't present. Like this Knuckles. If a monster is present, your character will say that there's like a Knuckles is stalking you. And I don't think you'll see any... Oh, no. I don't think you'll see any traps that are around. We may die here, viewer. But we are not going to equip our staff. Okay, let's step up, open this up. 59 hit points. That isn't as much as I would have liked. Oh man, come on. So, your task in the dungeons is to reach the bottom floor and find whatever it is that's secreted down there. In the case of the Pirate Slayer, it's that sapphire we were told about. Although it's not quite what the game indicated it was. It's not a sapphire, as in a gem. Oh, this is an awkward place to fight a Night Stalker in. Because our sides are exposed. A monster could walk up from the left or right and also contribute to this battle. Oh, this thing's really painful too, and we're not doing much damage with our staff. Oh God, we're dead, aren't we? We're dead. Well, we're not quite dead. But there's a trap down this hallway. My map has indicated where all the traps are located and where the treasure chests are, boxes and the ways down. Oh man, only 50 hit points and then Knuckles is staring at us. We need to equip a knife for this. And viewer, I think we're doomed. We need to flee the dungeon. Well, if we die, we'll just play from that point. Wow, come on now. Please hit it. Oh man. Okay. Weapon. Staff. Grappler. I didn't see this thing the last time I was in the dungeon. They have, I mean, the creatures generally feel the same inside dungeons. Some may have a little more hit points than others or do a little more damage. And some have special attacks. But otherwise, they're basically the same. Despite the fact that they look different. Some have a little animation. As we saw with the Night Stalker. 2 more hits effectively and we're dead. We could try to climb back out the way we came, but there is a healing box to our right, eventually. Oh no. We're in the middle of an intersection. The game doesn't hold back, by the way. If we're not dying, it's just because we're getting lucky, not because the game's adjusting the damage or the miss rates of monsters. We're dead! You died! The first time I've died in Legacy of the Ancients on screen. Let's see what happens to us, viewer. It's freaking OBS. I hate you. I hate you so much. You're so difficult to use. What's happening here? The powers of the museum resurrect you from the grave. So that brings you back to life if you die. You will apparently be brought back to life with your maximum hit points, but your food reduced back to a lower amount. And we lost a good amount of our gold as well. I don't know if the spot it resurrects you is fixed or not, because I haven't died in the game in a long time. And the only reason I died there is because we went back into the dungeon. So what we're going to do, viewers, is something a bit awkward for me. But I'm not going to accept this as the thing that occurred. I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you guys for watching. And when we come back, we will be back outside the dungeon again. Because I'm just going to reload our character from where they were. Rather than where we are. Hopefully that is acceptable to you guys, since I didn't really want to go back down there again. You don't want to explore the dungeons without any healing herbs. You really don't. This was the first time, I think, in a long time that I walked down to Pirate's Lair without any healing herbs on us. Because relying on those boxes is very tricky. We would not have made it back out of the dungeon either. That one grappler would have intercepted us on the way back to climbing up the hole, and we would have died. You can't run from monsters in dungeons. We'll talk a bit more about that in the next episode. In any case, thank you guys for watching this. Hope it was fun, and I will maybe see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.